the back of the comb is also a great way of controlling the hair. Okay? It helps to keep the hair flat to the scalp and make it very clear and very obvious the section you'll be working with. So if we just do that again, it keeps everything looking quite nice and neat for me to work. This is our first section. So with this, you might be better on working more or less straight on. So if you want to go almost so that the camera is like that. So what we're going to do is to show you our vertical triangular shape. We want equal tension, okay? We are only going to cut to our second knuckle, sorry. So we start out like so, and then I stop, because the tension will change between this section of my fingers and this section will not be consistent. The tension is only applied once my distribution or cut line is where I want it to be. So let's just reassess. So you see the tension at the moment is very low. The tension is only applied when I know exactly where my distribution is going to be set. Now the head's going to be length slightly down. Now if the head was down too far at first and we work triangular, the triangular section will come out here somewhere, which meant that my section here would have been really long. Sometimes, if your graduation is too low, the hair doesn't really resemble a graduated bob. It almost looks like a one-length bob with graduation. So be very careful of the actual amount of angle in your first section. So if the head shape is like down, you'll get a much lower angle. If it's up, you'll get a much higher. We're going to now start with pivoting our section. Do you want to come around this side? Thank you. So as I just asked Ryan, bless Ryan helping me today, as I just explained, sort of want to explain this next section. So now we are working from vertical, working off a triangular shape, we're working on a diagonal section, still working triangle. The characteristics of the triangular shape are that the length is decreasing towards the external shape. Now why do we pivot? What is the key benefit to pivoting our section? Why would we pivot? We pivot to shift the control from vertical to horizontal. We do that seamlessly. So by shifting control, we are going to be ending up with the full control over that beautiful graduated shape. We start out vertical to give ourselves the guide of how high we wanted our graduation to be, or how low we wanted it to be. By pivoting, we shift the control of this onto what we see from our eyesight. Also, move the client's head slightly. You'll notice that I've just moved my model Jess's hair over very slightly. This is because it's going to aid me in being more comfortable for me when I come to cut this next section. So we're going straight through. See the back of the comb to flatten the heads, keeps everything very clean and very obvious. Now what are the key kinetics? Kinetics are our movements, our energy, what we're going to be using to get this shape. It isn't the other direction anymore, because the other direction, we're not over directing, we're pulling the hair straight down from base. But it's actually the elevation, how high or how low we choose to have this section is going to form the characteristics of our horizontal shape. If we're working vertically, for an example, it would be the other direction. That would be one of the key kinetics to our horizontal shape. But by shifting our sectioning, as we are by pivoting, we are actually using the elevation more than we are the other direction. So you'll see now, I'm going to come around just over my shoulder slightly, right? The section now is much, much more working on the horizontal section, opposed to the vertical shape. As we bring our last section in, bearing in mind, guys, that if you apply too much tension, if I was going to apply a lot of tension here, and I release the tension, the section moves. I would always put my comb in and use my comb for the control. then I would slowly bring the section in. Once I see my distribution is aligned, I would apply the tension. And always cut backwards. Draw your scissors backwards when you cut through. So if we can just go into the section and have a look, you can quite clearly see that my line is working like so. We started off vertical. Once again, to confirm, the vertical section gives us how high, the control over how high we're going to start this. We pivot to get more control over what this is doing. Tiny bit of cross check. I would always just have a little cross check of my work. I think sometimes you can have a tendency to drop the elevation a little bit too low, and your cross check will really help you with that. The reason I like doing a live is I think you get to see me edit my own work. You get to see me go over and check my own work. You get to see it as if it was on a salon floor. So you can probably use this. So you can think, oh, hang on a minute. If the elevation made it too heavy, I got to notice that through the cross check. And then through the cross checking, you were able. I wouldn't cut the hair, guys, when you are cross checking. I would actually revisit my section. You might better go on this other side actually, if that's okay. So again, what I'm just instructing Ryan to do is come over this side so you can quite clearly see when we move across. Again, let's just say I put loads of tension. Let's say I put absolutely loads of tension from the root there. Look at how the skin is moving. And when I let go of it, it pulls back. We can't have that. How's it looking, Ryan? Any good comments come through? Any questions come through yet?
I don't think we've got any comments yet. It's got a lot of love.
Oh, that's all we can really ask for, isn't it? So you see, let's just review our elevation, because we've said we're not over-directing here or there for this shape. Typical graduated shapes, a lot of people who have trained have said that they start vertical, they agree with me on that. Then they over-direct section 1 to 2, section 3 to 1, section 4 to 1. We don't do that here. What we're doing is, it's the elevation, guys, that is really key here, not the over-direction. We're pivoting, which is why we're not having to over-direct. See the characteristic there of that line? We're sort of decreasing triangular, and when we just push the hair very slightly, you can kind of see that shape is already encouraging the hair. Because what are the key benefits to having a triangular section or triangular shape? So the triangular shape allows for us to direct length and weight into certain key areas. So in this circumstance, we started out directing the length and weight vertically. Now, by pivoting the section, we are shifting the control of that shape to being able to distribute and push the length out. So now the length is going longer here. So can you see that, Ryan, as that line just follows there? So we started out, guys, full control over this, which was our triangular shape. We pivoted without using over directions, just using elevation to form the graduated shape. And then our triangular shape starts shorter, ironically, to longer. So that is a very simple basis of how we start our graduated bowl. Now what we're going to do...